this control. And I'd like to show you now how the app works in a scenario where the client either is new to GetPaid or he hasn't been here for a while. So it's not finding his way around initially and needs some other features. Okay, so same thing, we connect to Xero as before. We continue with the 3 organizations we have selected. If there are more organizations required and the user has access to them, he can select more organizations. The benefit of that is that if one has finished work with one organization in the application and likes to move to the next organization, a scenario for bookkeepers and accountants, for example, then you wouldn't have to log out and log in again. So while I connect the app to Xero, all the overdue invoices are being downloaded. And I get to a situation here where I have quite a few invoices here. And as I said before, we assume that we don't know exactly what's going on because we haven't looked at it for a while. The first thing you would do is you would look at this invoice overview here on the top. That shows you in a very simple diagram what the situation is in the typical age brackets. If you hover with the mouse over it, it shows you the amount as well as the number of invoices in this particular age bracket. So you might think, for example, that anything older than a year is of particular concern, so you want to attack these 18 invoices first. We close this window by clicking on the logo, the normal convention. And now we're back on the screen that shows the overdue invoices. I can select, by the way, here how many invoices I want to see on this page. I go to 50, so you can see a little bit more. And as we said, we wanted to attack the oldest ones first, so we click on overdue days. Select either the youngest or the oldest first, or makes no selection. So we clicked twice to get to the oldest on top. Now we could go and select the invoice we want, the oldest. We can also select several and ask for quotes at the same time. There's no problem to speed the process a bit up. You could also be in a scenario where you say, actually, I'm not quite sure which invoice this exactly is, and you want to reassure you, so you click on the invoice number and then the PDF file of the invoice opens, so you can reconfirm that's the correct invoice you want to deal with. And that's probably all it is on this screen for that scenario. But it could also be that you say, actually, I'm under immense pressure to collect as much cash as possible. So it's not the oldest you're interested in the ones with the highest amount. So same thing, you click on it twice and you get to the highest amount here. So you would do the same thing. You can reassure you with a number. I'm not doing this again here. You can have a selection of several invoices to ask for quotes if you want. We just select one. Or actually, we could also talk about another scenario where you just want to look at one particular debtor. So for example, say Peter Cash is appearing here a few times. So maybe there is a massive issue. So you use this little search window here. And all Peter Cash invoices are popping up. You can also look for certain invoices if you look for a particular one and have the number, etc. So this is the usual search function you would expect in an application like that. As said before, we pick one invoice. We go to the bottom, request for the quotes. Always here this window is popping up. The alternative is you look at the quotes tab, which shows a little 1 here, so you know there's a quote waiting for you. The quotes are being kept here for 48 hours, so you don't have to instruct right now and then have to go through the process again. So if you need to clarify something, want to think about something, you have 2 days time to conclude the process. So we're now in the quote screen, and here are several things possible. So the first thing is I can decide whether I want to charge the debtor. This is with this little slider here. I can also clarify what this really means, because as per English and Welsh law as well as Scottish law, you can pass the collection costs onto the debtor. You can also at the same time collect late payment interest, and this is indicated with that one. For consumer clients, you have to do this via stating in your T's and C's, particular for consumers. Otherwise, you can't do this, as consumers are a bit more protected than businesses. So we have decided that. But another question could be actually, how do we decide now which debt collection agency of the four we want to choose? So there are a couple of things you could do. You could say, I'm going for the cheapest, so that would rule BW Legal out here, because 15% collection fee is in these three cases the case. There's an additional option here for a fixed fee. Nobody uses this at the moment, but theoretically it's possible. The reason for that is if the invoice amount is so small that the percentage for the collection fee would not cover the costs, our partners have the option here to put a fixed fee in there. So that one would rule then out Royal Trust. So we just have Boyce Turner and Athena in the race, and then you can look at what is actually the typical collection rate. So how much of the amount that is due is typically collected. So in these two cases is 100%, and they have also a similar collection time. If you're not sure what this really means in detail, you can hover over the rate or time, and it shows you what it means. So we have narrowed it down to these two, and then you go back to actually who is Boyce Turner and Athena. And there's a little information button here. If you hover over that, it gives you a little bit of information about Athena and Boyce Turner. This is probably enough if you have worked with them before to remind you of who they are and what you can expect. So you would say, actually, yes, I remember Boyce Turner, I want to use them again, that's fine. It could also be in a scenario where you haven't been here before that this is not enough information. So you click on the name of the debt collection agency, and you can break out to the terms and conditions or the website, for example, which I just quickly do, and then you can study a little bit more who that is you're dealing with here. So we are going back. So let's assume we have satisfied ourselves that Boyce Turner could be an option. Then you would click here, select the offer, and you would get the typical quote again. Here it shows you exactly what you have selected, and here this is a bit of a prediction. This is not a confirmation, because we don't know yet how the debtor will act. Yeah, so therefore we're not 100% sure whether these numbers will unfold. But it's a bit like when you get when you apply for a mortgage, you get an outlook depending on how the interest rates would unfold, what this would mean in financial terms, to give you a little bit more information. You can also look at the T's and C's here again. You would confirm here. I don't do this because Boyce Turner is a live partner and we don't want to annoy them here in the demo. So I cancel this and select Royal Trust, which is just a demo partner. I do the same, select and confirm. And with that, the instruction is out. So we go now to the processing tab. So this is everything that is currently in flight, so it's being dealt with. So we have the invoice we just passed through, we have here as well, but we see also here, and this is the important thing I wanted to show you here, the status of the invoice. So you might have, like in this case here, 7 invoices in play, and they have all different status. So the ones we just instructed are here. So this is shown with the yellow label, instructed here. Once the server pings back that the quote has been uploaded, so basically has been received on the other end, this will go to confirmed. And once the debt collection agency has then started dealing with the data, this will go into processing, so you know exactly what status the individual invoice has. Finally, this will go into collector. This is when the money is in-house with the debt collection agency. There it will stay for about 5 working days. Reason for that is that we want to avoid any fraud in the payment process. And once this has been cleared, then this moves into the paid tab here. So these are historical data where one can go back and check what happened actually in the past with an invoice. So what was the price again? What was the fee? What was the expected time? How much was actually recovered, and how long did it actually take, and so on. How much was the exact amount that was going? So that helps a little bit confirming, for example, whether you want to go with, like for example, in this case, you with the finest debt collection agency again or not. Yeah. So that in essence is what you need for the process in the app if you want to instruct invoices. There are a couple of other things which are probably worthwhile highlighting. If you go on the name of the user, then you have a couple of things here. You can see, first of all, the status of your subscription. You can log out as well. But you can also manage the subscription. So, for example, if you want to upgrade to allow more invoices being instructed, as there are 3 subscriptions we're running with at the moment, which is basic, standard, and premium. This is 1 invoice, 5 invoices, or 50 invoices per month at 5, 15, or 50 pounds per month. That is quite helpful. It allows you also to downgrade at the end of the month to a lower level, or completely cancel the subscription. On this one here, where it shows the company, you can change the organization. If you finished work with one here, you go to the next client and work here. I'm not doing this because these are real organizations which we don't want to show here. If you work with a co-worker on the same account, so for example, there's one person raising invoices and the other one is dealing with the credit control process, then it might be useful before you leave to check whether anything has changed. So in case that somebody just raised an invoice that is potentially overdue and appearing here. So in this case, nothing has changed. So there wasn't anything, but it could have happened. So just clicking on it just to make sure that nothing is overlooked here. If you come here the very first time and have absolutely no idea how it works, and as much as we think it's so simple with clicking and requesting and instructing, but you still might need some guidance for it. There's a little help function here, and the help function shows then a little bit how to connect the app and how to operate the app in the first time. So with that one, we exhausted this one. There are a couple of things at the bottom here. There are the terms and conditions of BIS control. There's a privacy statement and a contact option that gives you the option to come to us and ask for anything that is not absolutely clear. You have 2 breakout options here into LinkedIn and to our website. And I think with that we have explained everything. So Usually we get feedback that it's extremely straightforward, and that is the beauty of it. So no real training required, no engagement with any debt collection agencies, no uploading of backup material, no onboarding process, no keying in of data. All this has been taken care of, and therefore it's really straight easy, and people love that, right? So, just to remind you how easy it was, I do it once more. If you know your way around, so Henry Crook is the one we want to pass through 3005. We select the invoice, request a quote, go to the quote screen, select this time the Swift boys. We like them, have worked with them before. We want to charge the debtor. We select the offer and have a quick look at this. I'm happy with this, confirm, and job done. So if you do this every day with everything that is overdue, it takes you a few minutes, maybe at max, and everything is under control. Just maybe a final comment is this is not meant to be an outsourcing for credit control process. We encourage people to use the Xero reminder service, which we think is quite simple and straightforward, so really fit for purpose for people that don't want to spend too much time on it. But if the internal process hasn't worked, then obviously GetPaid is the goalkeeper to get the cash in at the back end. And that's what it is. Thank you very much for listening. Any questions, please contact me on oliver@bizcontrol.com. Thank you very much and goodbye.